When the tape is back on?
We're back on the record, time 11:21 a.m.
Mr. Bernice, I just want to make sure that I get a copy of any videotape that was made at the beginning of the deposition when it was being monitored in the next room. Was that being recorded?
It wasn't recorded.
All right, well, I want
The
to
camera was on, but it wasn't recorded.
So there's no videotape, counsel? And you are entitled to copies of any videotape that are taken here today?
I just want to make sure I get copies of any video and any audio tapes that have been made today at all. Since the
Counsel,
time
you will get what you're entitled to, which is a copy of everything.
Mr. Bernice, that's agreed upon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now may we proceed?
Please.
Thank you. Now, having conferred with counsel, will you please read item 1 to yourself? And indicate when you have finished.
Is there supposed to be a period at the end of this one here? You have a capital at the third line here. I'm not sure what
is that with
the
U?
intention of that communication.
That is because the capital, the Y on the U is capitalized because it is a defined term meaning you, Mr. Jentzsch.
Capitalized, okay.
Is there a question, Ken?
I've asked him to read it first and indicate when he's finished reading it.
And Mr. Berry, if you're preparing to go through this item by item with Mr. Jentzsch, this doc request has been responded to, as you know, in a timely fashion under Rule 34. And those responses prepared by counsel and the responses have been made pursuant to the CSI document production over the past several weeks.
Well, he was asked to bring documents today, sir. Now, Mr. Jentzsch...
All I'm saying, Mr. Berry, is that that's going to be a fruitless exercise for you to go through every single one of these items to ask him if he's brought documents here today. He has not brought any documents with him today, as he's already testified.
I'm going to ask him...
I have some documents with me, which I intend to produce to you in the afternoon, which are responsive to, I believe, one of the requests here, which I don't believe have been produced in the course of the CSI response, which of course has been going on practically daily since November the 4th, and over 240 boxes have been produced and up to 500,000 documents.
That's not correct, and you know it.
Mr. Berry, could we please clarify something? You made an objection a moment ago that Mr. Jentzsch was represented by personal counsel, and you felt apparently it was improper.
I didn't say it was improper. I just think it's cute for the representative of the party to also be representing the witness and then have another attorney here so they can tag team. But I mean, it's permissible within the rules. It's just cute.
Was your deposition intended of Mr. Jentzsch as an individual or as a corporate representative?
As a corporate representative.
And that's what your document request obviously then was, as a corporate representative. Proceed.
Now, I intend to have the witness produce all responsive documents prior to the conclusion of his deposition. If you produce them in some other means, buried in some boxes, that is fine, counsel. But we have asked for those documents to be presented here today, and we expect them to be presented here today.
Make your record, Mr. Berry, but the documents have been produced. They've been produced once, and that's all that you're entitled to. If you want to spend the day going through this item by item, asking him whether he's going to produce anything, it's a fruitless exercise.
Are you now representing that he's not producing any of this stuff, and that you have somewhere in the midst of all these documents that you claim to have produced documents responsive to this request?
We have presented to you a response to the request in a timely manner. That is your guideline. The materials
Okay,
have
counsel,
been produced.
let me give you notice of a motion to compel compliance with this document request in accordance with the rules and not in accordance with some kind of subterfuge of concealing dozens of documents, so we have to go find documents for this deposition that are responsive to this request. You now have notice we...
Rule 34 requires us to produce documents in the normal course of business.
This
and
is
that's what's been done. And if you
this
want to waste
counsel,
time with this anymore, go ahead.
counsel, this request is directed...
Would you please? There's no point in arguing that.
This
We can
request
have a
is...
confer later.
This request is directed at this particular witness.
You just indicated he was here only as a corporate representative. I don't know how you want to leave this, Mr. Berry, but would you go ahead with your deposition? We're here and we're wasting everyone's
To
time.
the extent he's here as a personal, and to the extent he's here as Heber Jentzsch, he's here in his personal capacity also.
Well, now you've changed it. I don't know why he's here then, Mr. Berry.
He's here because he was duly noticed. Now, Mr. Jentzsch, let me show you exhibit, what I shall have marked as exhibit 3.
May I, just for the record, before we go on, Mr. Berry, I noticed you apparently took a notice of non-appearance here on the 22nd of November, and that was clearly well after the time that you and I both signed a stipulation to reschedule this deposition
It was
for later in the month.
I think
it was off into December.
I think you have been apprised of the circumstances of that non-appearance.
I don't believe we have until today, Mr. Berry.
We discussed.
I don't know what ground you had to make a non-appearance when you stipulated to a different date for the deposition later in time.
Counsel,
Go ahead, Mr. Berry.
I would suggest that if you think it is more expedient, we have a referee appointed to oversee this deposition
I
because
wish you would go ahead with your question. You refused to ask any questions. Can you please go ahead with your question? We're here for the question.
Now, showing you what I shall have marked as Exhibit 3, do you recognize that as being a transcript of a deposition you gave in the case of Religious Technology Center versus Church of the New Civilization?
Usually when these are handed to me, they are marked.
There is a 3 on the bottom, sir.
No, but I mean they are marked by the court reporter, so there's no problem with them being confused. Can we do that?
Would you please do that, Mr. Reporter?
Thank you. Now your question again, sir?
Before I ask a question, sorry, we need to call emergency from the office. I need to call for a couple of minutes.
So are we now terminating this deposition again, counsel?
No, we're not terminating it. We're just taking a break.
Well, may I ask the witness to review this document during the break?
Certainly. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
The document's over 100 pages long.
Well, I merely want to confirm that the testimony you gave on that occasion was true and correct when given.